Hi everyone, welcome to Kats Creations on Monday for the private group, where today, as promised, I am going to show you how to create a table runner / fall centerpiece. So I have all my materials laid out, and as I go through the build process, I'll discuss with you what we're doing. There's a few things that I don't know where it came from, like for example the deco mesh, which I believe probably originated from Joann's or Michael's, but when I went to pull the mesh out today, the label's missing. So I have no way of knowing. So there's that. And then when I went out this afternoon to get supplies, thought that I actually had garland left over, but then after a hunt and search, realized I didn't, and that I had actually used it in the outside decor of our home last year. So a trip to Hobby Lobby yielded us yet again. I'm like wondering, oh, you have this underneath. You're gonna wanna pick up a 9-foot, just plain, no lights in it, garland from Hobby Lobby. So what is that? 40% off of $11.99. It's basically gonna be about, yeah, something like that. So you've got 9 feet. Which is great because you can use it for a ton of different things. You can use it for corner swags, you can use it for garland for a fireplace, you can use it as an alternative for any type of holiday decor. Just think of this as a work frame with pipe cleaners already attached. So the first thing you're going to do is determine how long of a centerpiece or a table arrangement do you want. My cutting mat goes about 36 inches, which if you look at this from here to here, that's pretty long. So I'm going to cut mine right at 24 inches. So it's going to be from here to here, which I think is fine. Just because when our family eats, there's always someone who sits at the end of the tables. So I don't want it to go all the way across, and then you have to deal with where's the people on the end going to put their food. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my 9-foot garland, and I'm going to cut the garland, which is going to be a mess and a half, down to 24 inches. So I'm just going to kind of undo this so you can find the center of your garland. Make sure from end to end we're right at 24 inches. Use a pair of heavy-duty wire cutters, cut that, and then you still have 7 feet of garland to make other things with.
Yep, they upped the prices last year. They used to be $9.99, now it's $11.99.
Yeah, so, and if you start noticing a lot of your retail stores right now, a lot of the shelves are empty, and that's because product is getting hard to stock. So be, what do you call it? I cannot think of the word, where you go out, like you pre-plan everything in advance. It starts with a P, like pre-something. Anyhow, so you're gonna go through your garland and fluff it, which means take all the individual pieces. You're gonna lay your hands on every single piece and you're gonna fluff it. Because right now it looks very blah, very one-dimensional. So we need to open this up and make it more than that. So I have not seen them. I went to Hobby Lobby this morning. Hobby Lobby also, or a lot of the vendors will sell work garlands, which is basically just a piece of long, thicker gauge wire with a bunch of pencil ties to it in random colors. But I found that if you just use this, it's a whole heck of a lot cheaper, and you can use it for a wide variety of different seasons or holidays, colors, whatever you want. So as you can see, when we stretch this out, it's fairly full, and that one came off, which is not a big deal. So there is our garland, fairly fluffed up. That's exactly 2 feet. So this is what we're going to be working with as our base. I've pre-cut all my deco mesh pieces. So here's that really pretty deco mesh that I have. This is a heavy foil or a premium foil deco mesh, and it's in an ombre, starting from like the burgundy, fades to orange, fades to gold, yellow, and then at the very end turns to green. I think that this either came from Joann's or Michael's, although I don't know. It's the only roll I have, and sadly it's the only roll that had no label on it whatsoever. So I will probably find it when I go to clean out my deco mesh storage thing, and I probably found the label that came off, but I'm not going to do that today. So that was from last year. One of the things you'll also notice in working with the artificial evergreens is its ability to shed everywhere. And sadly, there's nothing you can do to prevent that. So it just is what it is.
Yep, Kathy, the garland came from Hobby Lobby.
Yep. Okay, so I took the liberty of pre-cutting all of my deco mesh to 15-inch pieces to see if this would work. Normally, if I'm doing a centerpiece, I kind of have the recipe, but when you're doing it for the first time with no recipe, you got to kind of figure it out as you go. So I'm just going to ruffle these up, and I'm going to alternate how they go on this form. So I'm going to start right here with the 2 in the middle, and I'm going to go ahead and add my deco mesh to this. So I have like the darker on here, the lighter on here. The next piece I get, I'm going to alternate that color and put darker on the end and lighter on the opposite side. So I'm gonna kind of pull in here. I'm looking for 2 that are relatively close together. I think it's gonna be these 2. Here it is. So you're going to use it just like you normally would a work frame. You're just going to twist this in. I'm doing this just to get rid of the overall evergreen base. So we're just going to add this to cover up some of it. I don't want to cover all of it. So see, we have the lighter here. So I'm going to flip it and put the darker. And we're just fluffing that side. Come back in down here. So these are 15-inch pieces we're using as ruffles. I cut 10 of them. So we're switching it up again. We're doing darker to one side, lighter to the other. So we're kind of getting that 2-fold look to this. Remember how I don't know if you guys watched the live yesterday where we made the bike frame? You have the option that you could choose to do it that way as well. You could build an entire floral base just with whatever florals you want, zip tie it all together, and that is your centerpiece.
Hi Barbara, welcome. Barbara White said, hello, first time in private group, first live.
Hi Barbara, thanks for joining. So if you have any questions, please feel free to just answer away. It's a little easier when we're not in the public group and private group members have questions. It's so much easier to answer, you guys. Okay, up here. I'm trying to make this a little thicker. Don't want that folding underneath, because then we won't get a true color. Okay. this end. Flipping it backwards. And I'm going to put one piece at the end here. Just to finish off this end. And I think I want, do I want it to be, I haven't decided. I like the darker colors, so I'm just going to have the gold kind of come out the other end. Just like so. We still have a lot of our greenery in here. So let's see, I might come in. I have one piece left and I'm gonna put it right there in the middle. And I think that will create a good base for me to build on. Let's kind of go okay, just like that. 10 pieces of mesh, all in random different colors.
She also thinks she bought that mesh also at Craft Outlet. I
looked at Craft Outlet. It could be. I'm not sure, to be totally honest.
And Deb said I need to get some of that cool mesh. It might be hard to find.
Yeah, I don't know about this color in particular. So now I'm going to, around the base, all the way around the outside edges. I picked this up at Hobby Lobby today, which is just the large fall leaf pick. So this, let's see what the price is on this one. This is $4.99, but you get 40% off. So we're pulling all the leaves off. I guess technically we could do it this way. So we're just, because I like these ones better than the ones you buy in the package. These ones are a little bit more velvety and they have the leaf print. So we are going to be adding these down to the bottom. So let's see how many leaves we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 6 on each side, but we need to mix the colors. So let's start here at the end. I'm going to snip the big fat ends off, dip this into my glue skillet, and we're going to kind of go right in here. Kind of add some of our fall florals. So we're spacing them out. We're going to go right in here. Let's go back for the darker. And all I'm doing is just randomly adding these right in just underneath my evergreen.
That glue will stick really good to the evergreen.
Well, it'll stick really good to the mesh too. But I'm trying to lay down the leaves for the centerpiece part. Okay. Have a little bit. Now we're back to our red. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. That one. I'm going to kind of pull this around to the side. I'm going to put this one kind of down in here. And I'm just going to keep going around because, as we know, table runners have more than one side. So we need to make sure we're decorating both sides. You don't want to be sitting across from somebody and not, you know, your side looks blah, their side looks great. And for these, you could, it depends on how tall you go with your design. Because I was like trying to think, would I make these to be shipped or would I make these more for like your craft fairs? I would definitely have one if I was doing a craft fair, because you can have this laid out on your table. It looks really nice. I'll put this one on the end. But imagine how beautiful this would look if it sat on your table with a sign or two. I'm sure people would be like, is this for sale? And you could kindly reply, yes, it is. One, two, three, four. I'm adding some of these in. Now we'll go on top. We'll go right here. And then we'll do this one on the end again. So we've laid down our fall leaf base. That's all done. Trying to get all the glue threads off so we're not dragging stuff from one end to the other. Okay. We are going to go with our larger items in our centerpiece. If you want, we're going to keep the center for our bow. Matter of fact, let's start the bow now, because the bow is going to sit right in the center. And then we're going to add things like pumpkins and gourds and fall flowers and more ribbon if we need to. So I'm feeling like I need to put the bow in so that I don't crowd out my bow. So, colors, we have our pumpkin, our orange, this fall color. I have a little bit of brown. Obviously we need pumpkins. And then our striped as well. And I'm just kind of rearranging things to figure out what I want where. I think I'm going to go with that and have our pumpkin be the top. So these are all 1.5 inches because I'm going with a smaller diameter item. So I'm going to dovetail first, and then looking at where this is going to fall, you need to determine the length of the longest tail. So right about there for me. And I'm going to go a little bit generous. I'm going to go full 10 inch because it was sitting right between a 9 to 9.5. So I'm just going to go solid 10. And we're going to make this like a normal bow with the same size loops. So I need to get this out to 5.5, which means let's really bring this out. 5.5 on the other side. I love this pumpkin colored ribbon. It's just really nice. Solid 10 out. Do our dovetail again.
Irvina, there's no need to spray this with E6000 because this is it's a table runner, so it's not really meant to be.
It's not outside.
Outside.
Yeah. Unless you wanted to use it as like a doorway, like over the something, I would at that point probably do this. I'm gonna change these up a bit.
And Kathy, these are 9-foot pieces of garland from Hobby Lobby for approximately $12. And then Kat cut it down to just a 2-foot piece for this table runner.
I mean, if you have a really large table, go 3 feet. Just determine the length of your table and then cut your ribbon down accordingly.
Oh, Cheryl said, yeah, I just found this Decor Mansion at Craft Outlet for $5.50 and it's in stock.
Ooh, nice. Can you message me the SKU number, Cheryl? Since I am lacking a item or the item number. If you can send me the item number.
Thank you, Cheryl.
I love this color. So we're gonna go 9.5. I'm mixing these up because I'm gonna kind of put the brown in. Because I like darker colors for fall. I don't know why. It's just my preference. I go with a darker color palette. So these are 5-inch loops. So it's kind of like we're building the same bow that we've always built, but we're using 1.5-inch ribbon just because we're building a smaller bow. You know, if you wanted to, you could put candles in the center of it. You could put styrofoam blocks in the center and then build up from there. I just like things looking a little bit more natural. Okay, these ones are good. Now we will use this. And this one's gonna be 9 inches with a 4.5-inch loop. I love this fall. And this came from Costco a couple years ago. So 4.5.
Thank you, Cheryl. She said she typed in the SKU number.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
And then Stella says, Kat, thank you so much for the bow making class last week. My bows are looking 100% better and I'm feeling more confident.
Oh, nice.
Making them. Thank you again.
Just take your time. You know, that's the best thing you can do, and then just keep practicing. With every bow you make, you know you're gonna get a little bit better at the process. And then just find a formula or recipe that works for you and just keep making them over and over. The best thing I can tell you is quality of ribbon will pay off for you huge. Let's add our stripe. So the better the quality of ribbon, the easier it is to make. And this is going to be 8.5. And we're back to 4.5. So the exact same as the one before that.
Cheryl, yeah, you can incorporate candles into it.
Oh yeah. I mean, I thought about it, but I was like, okay, realistically, we don't do candles on ours for the holidays. Yeah. We kind of have candles around the room, but not on the table. Probably because so many people are passing food over the table that it's just not practical to have a candle.
But you also have 7 foot of that stuff left over, so you can make them actually 4 if nothing but candles.
Exactly. I mean, you could technically do what I'm doing here and just keep going the whole 9 feet and make yourself fall mantle garland. You know, measure the size of your mantle and just keep going. The best thing for holding up your fall garland, command hooks. Yeah, the larger command hooks, because you can pull those off.
Hi, Kathy. She said, thanks for all you do for us.
You're so welcome.
She said, yes, I thought about also doing some small grapevine candle rooms. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. That's the perfect thing that I think we'll do. Because I was telling Steve, I'm like, trying to think up things for what do we do for next week?
Yeah, there you go. Maybe
And so, yeah, we'll make some mini wreaths, aka candle rings. So you can use them as small little wreaths, but you can also use them as candle rings as well. So this is going to be 4-inch loop. So there's one. I think this weekend we're going to do the gingerbread girl. We'll get her ready for her debut and make her. So it's probably going to be like 2 Christmas designs and then something fall related. Okay. Last one is our pumpkin ribbon. So where did everything come from? Okay, the solids came from Kringle. This one, the striped, is from Kringle. The really awesome fall is Costco. The pumpkin one with the race stitching is Kringle. And then this last one is from Pinky Jub. So, but as you can tell, any of the RG ribbons originate at Craft Outlet, the Race Shop, Trendy Tree. So everyone orders from the same vendors. Love this ribbon. It feels so nice. So this is going to be 7.5. Tired of all these little plastic evergreen pieces. They just cling to everything. And then we're going to go 3.5-inch loop. Let's just make sure. There we go. That's more like 3.5. Trying to get my, because the ribbon's painted on where the pumpkin is, it doesn't want to stay folded or twisted. So there we go. And back out to 7.5. Okay. Now we will grab our pipe cleaner. I'm just using.
Said good ribbon really does make the bow. That's so true.
It just makes it easier for you to fluff the bow.
Good wire ribbon.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and if it's made out of canvas and you can deviate away from that plastic, polyester, satin kind of blend, that's really hard. You know, especially if you have heavy wire on the outside, the inside just doesn't support the weight. So this, I'm actually going to tie directly on here. So I'm trying to find middle. So 12, it's going to be right in here. So I'm just going to go and tie this directly in, which is super simple because there's really no frame. That seem right? Yes.
You missed the tailing one, didn't you?
Yeah, this one, but I'll fix it here in a second. 1, 2, 3. I think I need to bring this over just a touch more.
Thank you, guys.
You guys are catching things before I'm like,
Yeah, I won't finish it.
yeah, I would have caught it when I put this on and started fluffing. So right to the bottom. Let's get it on there pretty good. And then we're gonna fluff from here on our wreath form. So we're gonna it's kind of hard for me to position it long ways, but we're doing the same thing. So here's a tail, here's a loop. Then we're gonna go to the other side. Here's our tail, here's our loop. Back over here. We're gonna go opposites. We're here and here. We're following the pumpkin to here. here. Got to be careful with the tri-colored one because that's the one that could split on you. There's this. Orange. Orange. And then this one we'll fix and dovetail real quick. And then here you can determine if you need to adjust the length of any of your ribbon lengths. So I'm going to start to fluff. I'm going to move these to the side. Move this one over here. I'm just liking that look a little bit better. So these two, right in the center. And pull this one up. Here's my pumpkin. Move this over. Let's go to the other side and fluff. Let's get all these opened up.
Caveats are all the ribbons 1.5 inches?
Yes, all of them are 1.5 inches. Just because I want this one. You can go 2.5 inches. I just wanted to keep it kind of small. So I'm going to cut some of these just a little bit shorter so they don't really hang onto the table. So whichever ones I don't like.
Asked, I'm doing a craft show in October. Should I do a mix of Halloween and Christmas?
When are you doing it?
In October. It's a little late for Halloween.
Yeah, I would skip Halloween.
Maybe some
Because
fall.
Everyone's already got their Halloween. I made that mistake when we did one and it was mid-October. I thought, oh, but people will come and they'll want to buy, you know, to put on their door. No, they already had it on their door. I would have been better had I planned ahead and brought Christmas.
Fall, Christmas and winter.
Yeah, every day. Always every day, because when people are Christmas shopping, they're going to purchase every day. You know, they're not going to buy someone a Christmas wreath for Christmas. They'll buy them an everyday wreath they can put on the front door.
Yep.
So like farmhouse or beach wreath if they live by the beach.
Sure,
Nice
yeah,
welcome.
You can definitely use this as a swag over a door.
Oh yeah. You can incorporate this to anything you'd like.
Barbara, no worries. You know, even I, as a commentator, I don't see comments all the time, so I have to close out and go back into. It's just a Facebook thing.
Yep. Okay, so that's a really nice bow for our design. We'll probably add like a pine cone or something to the center of it, maybe a pumpkin. So now we're going to start to embellish. So we're going to add some big apples. So obviously the closer to the center of our bow, it's like we want to go heavy on the larger and then fan out to smaller. So I am going to use these big apples, which I've already, on one of them already added my own pick too, which is just going to enable me to help glue that in. Let's see.
And what you can do too for your craft show is have like a little order form that people can pick up and take and call you back with if they want a custom order.
Exactly. Okay, so remember these are so easy to take, and all I did is cut some leftover floral, and we're gonna push these in. Let's try the other side. It doesn't go in very far, so I'm just making my own little picks. So just glue on the end of a wire. We'll let that one dry, but this one here, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this down a bit so it's not quite so long. And it's just gonna go attached to my evergreen, just right in here, just kind of right underneath the bow. So I'm gonna load it full of glue from my skillet. And just tuck that right on in. And it's gonna stick to the garland that you made. Okay, this one, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it down and do the same thing. This pick is just to help it reach the garland in the middle. We'll do the same thing because I wanted this to kind of have a little bit of apples. Just like that. So I'm trying to keep it in mind that I have, you know, you're gonna have people on both sides. So you want it hopefully to be a conversation piece. We're gonna add some pumpkins. Now this pick box that I got from Hobby Lobby, this is $12.99. So I'm looking for 2 pumpkins, and I might not get the exact colors because once again, everyone's making their pumpkins red. So I'm gonna probably, another tuck. Can you go grab I just put them in the plastic tub on the top, the ones that I bought, because this is not feeling very friendly. So like this one just looks too peachy to me. So I'm gonna have Steve go grab the pumpkins I made. We're also gonna take these little baby apples, and these are gonna go a little bit towards the bottom, but there'll be one on each side, kind of alternating patterns. Then we'll add our florals. So when you're building anything from a floral perspective, you always want to start with your base, which we've done with the deco mesh and the fall leaves. And then we're starting with the larger picks. So the apples, if you wanted to take the larger pumpkins, you could do pumpkins here and then maybe incorporate pine cones, acorns, little smaller. Yeah, that's perfect. Thanks, Steve. So I'm going to do the same thing here. These are the only ones I can get that are even remotely pumpkin colored. So these are from Hobby Lobby. And I'm going to do these a little bit towards the end. So something right around here. Like that one's perfect. This one's kind of, they're just different ends. They're not always going to match. So I'm going to put these in. There's one. This one. Let's see, can we get him? I think he'll sit there. Okay. Let's pull all this off. I'm going to add my baby apples. So now I'm going to medium size. So these are going to kind of go in here. There's going to be one on each side, just like this, kind of in here and here. Now the baby apples you can get at Hobby Lobby. So I'm just adding them right into my mix. Again, they're getting glued down to the center of my garland. So I'm just kind of nestling them in. If you need to, spin your garland around so that you're seeing things from both sides of the table. Doesn't it look so festive in fall? Let's trim this one down because we don't need that. So, and I want to say that there's about 12 apples that come in that apple pick bag. So I'm kind of alternating, like one going this way, one going this way. So they're slightly a little different. And now we're going to come in with some big fall florals. So I'm just going to cut them right from the bunch that we used yesterday. So these are from Michael's. So I'm going to pull 4 of these and 4 of the yellow. Let's see if we can get this one without the price tag in it. So push greenery up because you want to make the most of the greenery. And then we'll probably cut the picks down because nobody needs them that big. So how long am I leaving them? About 3 inches.
3 inches.
Yeah. I kind of figured that might be the next question. So I'm just going to kind of, this is where you can kind of just play and just tuck things in and see. Okay, I like that there. I'm going to spin it to the other side and see where would these look good.
Yeah, this happened a lot with the crafters too. So if you have problems with it freezing a little bit, or you lose the sound, just close out and then go right back in to the video.
This one's a little too long.
Okay, so I can just see this on a dining room table with the table settings for dinner. So too.
Yes, or you can put it on your kitchen counter. You can put it on your mantle. You can put it on the top of a bookcase. So many different places you could put this. So now I'm just kind of coming in and adding my fall, like right where I have these. If you need to cut them down a little bit more, feel free to do so. I'm trying to keep the flowers so that they're not getting smashed, but open. And then I'm going to come around and do these. Right there. Now, when you take photos of this, you're going to want to take it on a table and hopefully stage it. So if you have really nice Thanksgiving plates and napkins, and I would encourage you to kind of look at getting some fake items. You know, so even if you wanted to have a nice little cupcake or a pastry on the plate, you can have those ready to go. Okay. So now I'm going to do the same with these yellow flowers that we used from yesterday. So, trying to get them, I don't have to pull them all the way out. Same thing. I'm going to be stuck with the one with the price tag, but that's okay. So, again, Hobby Lobby, push your greenery up. Cut that excess off. It's about as up as we can go. We don't need the pick that big. Up. And then place these the exact same way. So just kind of look at where do you want to add some. Usually try to put the longer stem at the bottom. So there's that. This one's weird. I got a 3 and a 2. I need to go longer at the bottom. Okay. Spin this around. Add some yellow. Okay, go back over here. Okay. I'm going to actually commit to that, and I will backfill around some of these. So I want them slightly out, not flush and flat in there. this one. So go right to the center. Spin it around. We're gonna keep going.
Thank you, Kathy, Jenny, and Debbie, and Cheryl.
What's that?
There's a really pretty, beautiful, so very pretty, and this is lovely.
So see, you guys are like learning a little bit more. So you should be able to from, I don't know, how many of you decorate for Halloween? I know we don't. I will be only at my oldest daughter's house because that's like her favorite holiday. Did I drop something?
Yeah, just a little leaf.
Oh, okay. But you should be able to decorate from your fall centerpiece all the way through everything in your home. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to pull this box.
Cheryl, yeah, we do too. We just pretty much go straight to fall.
Yeah, we just skip Halloween.
So this is beautiful. How much would you sell something like this for? And what size box would it ship in? Well, that's the good part.
Well, easy for shipping in the box. I can tell you this for sure. Because I made these last year for a lady that slowly is losing her life this year. She's in hospice, but she wanted to go all out for Christmas. So she wanted, we built her things like this to go on the front of her fireplace mantle. We did corner swags, centerpieces for her dining room tables. So here's the interesting thing. You have about 33 inches on a diagonal on a 24-inch box, 31 to 33. So if I angle this in, we're only at 25 inches on a diagonal. It's different if I do it this way. So when you package it, it's gonna fit in your box.
Corner to corner.
On a diagonal.
And you can bend that, right?
No, I would not recommend bending it. So this is made to go corner to corner in the box, which is exactly how I shipped hers. So I'm adding my boxwoods to the ends by the pumpkin because they just look plain. They look like they need some friends. They need some love. Again, Hobby Lobby. So we're just kind of tucking these in and around. I'm trying to get it in so I can push it in. Okay. Spin it around to the other side. Was that the leaf that I dropped?
Yeah.
Was the boxwood? Did you put it back up here?
I put it over on the side. Yeah.
Where?
It's just regular leaf. It's over there.
That's okay.
Drop it again.
They fell on the floor.
That wasn't it. Nope.
What did it look like?
Is that green leaf?
This thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So same thing. There's that. So now we're kind of giving it some dimension and some height. I only have this short little piece, so I have another one in here. Let me find it. Here it is. So I need one more piece of this. So I just got to be careful because they're all wired together. So what would I charge? $87 with $25 shipping? Possibly.
87 with 25 shipping.
But see, when I do my centerpieces and topiaries and all that stuff, they just become gifts for family and friends. Like when we made for a Facebook Live, my fall garland that was on my mantle, my best friend was like, I have to have that. So how much would you charge? And I was like, you can just have it. I'm not going to charge you. And she's like, no, I need to know what you would charge the average person. And I was like, I think that's what I ended up charging her. And I'll show you how to do those too. Inexpensive garlands for your front door. So we're going to be doing the one for Caitlin for Halloween. And I'm going to teach you how to use, what did we use last time? I'll have to think about that. We may have used regular garland.
Read the boxes, you would use a 24 by 24 by 6.
Yes, this will not fit in a smaller box. So I'm going to add some of these fun, whatever you call them. They're like plastic pine cones. Hobby Lobby. So ours is starting to get picked out. So we're just going to take these. These are like little fun picks. You can just find little happy homes for them. Just kind of in between. Just little here and there places, like if you have something that you just find little holes, little nooks and crannies, you can just kind of fill them with something with a different color. Just like that. Spin it around to the other side. What do you guys think so far? Doesn't this just look so festive? It's so pretty. It's very fall.
Sure. Does your flower collection look like you're walking through Hobby Lobby? I'm a little jealous.
No. So literally Steve and I just went while we were out at lunch, and I was like, I need to go get some things. What was I going there? Oh, I need a garland. So while I was there, I was like, well, I'm going to pick up some sunflowers for when we do the sunflower stuff. And then I was like, we're still technically in fall, so I'm going to probably do some more stuff like this, like our lantern swag garland for our fireplace this year. So just little touches here and there.
Yep, sure. So it makes me smell cinnamon and cloves.
Right? Oh, can you go get me some cinnamon sticks? Thank you, Cheryl. I was like, oh, that was a good idea. The little...
I think they're in your cart.
No, they're not in my cart. Yes. That little small plastic tub closest to the closet. So I'm just pulling these little pine cones off this other pick. So these are almost like brush pine cone. Can you just bring the whole tub out here? Because it has acorns and pine cones and all kinds of rustic fun stuff. So I'm going to take these and put these right on the end. So I have one for each end. Oh, thank you. Just like that. So let's incorporate some of these. So these have kind of been dried for a while. So sometimes they break, or sometimes they just kind of crush. So because they smell so good, you can get these at Hobby Lobby too. They sell them in a big bundle. So we're just gonna, because they smell, oh, if only this was scented TV, right? So I'm just gonna tuck these in. Just little peekaboo things. Just so when it's, like you were saying, sitting on the table, you can smell the cinnamon sticks.
And if you don't like cinnamon or allergic, you can
Substitute it for something else.
substitute it for something else.
Or don't put it in. Yeah. So these are super simple.
You even have like cool little like tangerines with a little clove.
Yes. Yeah, you could. See? Steve just is in the whole design phase too.
I showed you put a little essential oil of cinnamon on it somewhere.
You could.
So I've always loved centerpieces on my dining room table. And
See?
wherever else I can use them. Christmas is my favorite holiday.
So I'm challenging you this year to make your own and then to share what you guys are doing. So I'm gonna ask you guys to stretch your imaginations this holiday season. So for fall, see, like that one just cracked in half. I wanna see what you guys have learned as far as like, you know, making your own items for your home. Make your centerpiece. You know, we always think that because we're doing it for everybody else or we're stocking our shop, we cannot have gorgeous and beautiful homes. I challenge you differently.
Rita said also the first thing that they do is put out their nativity set. We do too.
It's kind of one of the things we do. I wouldn't say it's our first thing. So I'm just kind of coming back in and backfilling this area. Sorry, Cheryl, I stole your idea. I was like, oh, now that you said that. And who was it that was like really disappointed that cinnamon or pumpkin spice stuff wasn't out yet? It all is now. So you can go to Starbucks and make your very own cinnamon favorite stuff. I think this needs to go up by your apple. Just like that. Look how pretty and festive. Okay, now I need just a couple small little orange flowers, and then I think I'm done. So I'm gonna move that to the side. Trying to get these. This came from Dollar Tree. But I think I want the thicker. Do we want the thicker ones? They just don't want to come out. This is what happens when I stuff them in my flower thing. Like I like these things. These are called hops. I don't know why, but they are. So I think I'm going to tuck one there. There's probably like two. That one just popped all the way off. So let me try to find, I don't want the one. There we go. Okay, just like that. Which means that if I do it on one side, I have to do it to the other. So there's that one. And that one. Okay. So let me glue these in so I don't forget what I was doing. Just like that. These up off my table. They won't fall on my glue skillet. I might like this flower better. Not quite as long. Tuck one right in here, and then we're done, just like so.
Yeah, I said I'm definitely going to try one for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Awesome.
I would, and then when people go, oh my God, where did you get the amazing centerpiece for your table? You can go, I made that. And they're like, what? And you're like, that's what I know how to do now. And then you're going to be bombarded with requests from family and friends that'll be like, can you make one for Christmas? Can you make one for all the seasons? And the answer is a simple yes, you can. But let me move this away so you guys can see what we've done. Move these so that I can get these in so you can see what they look like. See there's our centerpiece. Super simple. Look how pretty. I am going to add just a small little pine cone to the center of that design, but we're done. That's how simple it is in a nutshell to take a Hobby Lobby garland and create a centerpiece. Like Steve says, you could technically bend it. So if you wanted to do a corner piece, you would just find the center. Like I would probably do it on a 3-foot piece and then go 1.5 feet out, bend it in a 90 degree, and then put your bow in the corner, decorate one half, decorate the other. And if you have really nice, I don't know, mirrors in your home, you can kind of put those on the corner tops. You can put them over doorways. There is just so much you can do. You can come back in and you add lights to this if you wanted to have it lit with battery operated lights for your table centerpiece. So with this, yeah, I would probably go about 87. Remember, these can get hung on the wall like a pillar. So if somebody wants to, if they have like a long column space in their home, you could move the bow up or leave it here. I usually like to leave them in the center so that they have options if they want to change things out. But I hope you guys found this helpful. It's super fun to make. So now we have decorated. You can make them smaller. You could take them and fold them and do like, make it doubly thick, but I think that this thickness is pretty good. Let's see about how wide is this. It's 10 inches wide from here to here. So I don't know if you'd want to double it. Nope, doesn't look like an evergreen, does it? So this is how you can sneak. So I always say the one thing that Hobby Lobby will have an abundance of at the end, like way past like all their seasonal closeout, they will always have 9-foot garland left. I go and I buy them 3 or 4 and I just, you hang them up in the garage. And then if you need to make a centerpiece for any season, you do this for spring. You could do this for a wedding. This would look really nice as a wedding table centerpiece for the head table. There's nothing you can't do. So this just gives you more options.
And this would go in a 24 by 24 by 6-inch box.
Yeah, so look, okay, my cutting mat is 24, right? Here is 24 here. So 24, if we cut it right here and then all the way up, look what happens when I put it here. Boom, fits in a 24 box. It actually is 31 inches, I think, if you go from corner to corner. Because that's how I get the gingerbread girl to fit. That's about 33 inches long. We just kind of lift her feet up, and in the box she goes. But
the big turkey you just sold.
Yeah, the turkey, you just fold his feet up and tell the owner, hey, when you pull him out of the box, position him any way you want. And
you just take some wire cutters and you cut the garland.
Yep, that's all I did. So look, I'll kind of cheese this out. And I'll show you the other side. So there's our garland. Oh, that's right, because I didn't glue it in. I left it here. We never finished it. So it's just garland, fluffed out. See, I knew right where it came from.
That's it.
There we go. You guys can do this. You could make something this gorgeous for your home and for your table. And let people just be in awe of what it is that you create. Because you are that talented. It's just knowing all the secrets. Like, So how do you create that? Use 2 feet Christmas garland, cut it in half, fluff it, and glue everything in. So you like just adding those little, the metallic deco mesh. I realize we covered up a lot, but there's still a lot of it that we can see.
And you could even put this as a long, just a straight swag because the one end has a loop on it.
Yeah.
So you could actually just hang it off the one end.
Depending upon which end you cut.
Right. I think this is.
Yep. See, there's a loop right here. So if you wanted to, you could hang it as a pillar. So that's probably how you're going to see me do this, is it's going to go on my fireplace mantle and be staged. Like it'll just sit there with some nice fall candles here. It'll go on the dining room table. We'll set it, make it look really pretty. And I will probably hang it on one of my pillars and show you that you can use it as pillar swag. Multi-purpose. Do you guys have any other questions that I can answer for you?
It's a beautiful, love it, great idea.
Okay, perfect. So, like I said, florals for the most part came from Hobby Lobby. I love these. I don't know what they're called. It just has bush according to Michael's, but Dollar Tree has a lot of really super cute filler flowers. Like these were from the Dollar Tree. The little ones that I pulled out that I never used, like these, with the little curly cues, you can kind of tuck those in and let them be 3D. But yeah, not that much of materials in here at all. So hopefully...
the deco mesh, gals, remember, was cut just to 10 inches.
Yep, and I used 10 pieces. No, it was cut to 15-inch pieces.
Oh.
Did I?
You didn't put that on.
No, because I wasn't sure.
So 10 pieces cut to 15 inches.
Because I hadn't done one specifically for fall. I did the whole garland the last time, so I was like, okay. I promised you guys I would teach you how to do everything from fall mantle garlands, candle sconces, your porch lanterns outside. We are doing it all. So far we've done bows for the porch lanterns. What did we do? We just did bike frame. So we did the centerpiece. We've done several lantern swags. Yeah, we've done quite a few lantern swags. And I don't do them for every holiday. Once you do one, you pretty much know how to do them. I'll share the video that I did for the Halloween one, which it sold right away. But they're fun to make. And they used them in the bathroom on the lantern, but they also ended up taking it off the lantern and using it as a centerpiece for a party they had as well. So it's just having that availability. So super cute.
Sure, what do you mean by can you give us a tour? I'm sure once we get closer into Christmas and up, then we'll give you a tour.
Oh yeah, yeah, we'll definitely do it. But remember, we're building way before the holidays. So this will get you through fall. We'll do some more. I'll do a little bit of a swag that'll probably be from here, and I'll show you how to do it with evergreen, and we'll probably do it with maybe 18-inch evergreen, and I'll show you how we can make something like this that you could use on a pillar post. So it's up to you guys. But thanks for the input. I appreciate you guys being here, and I appreciate the fact that you guys show up every day that you do and encourage me the way you do. If you have any ideas or you see something and you're like, hey, this looks fun, I don't ever recall us doing this, can we try this? If I've already done it, I'll post the link to the video in the group. If it's new, we'll schedule it and we'll work on it. All right, everyone, well, have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon. Good night, everyone.